Okay, and we are live. This is the Website One weekly dev meeting. This is me, Brian, with Thomas and Yarrow, and today we will be talking about Website One. Right. Are there any things you want to talk about before we, Thomas?
No, we can dive in. We can check the pivotal tracker, but mainly,
Yeah.
there are three things going on that are two of them are highly prioritized. We're behind
Mhm.
schedule, and the third
Right.
one is in the works, work in progress. But we need to focus on those event things, front end things, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I know that Christopher and Norbert has been working on um, on the advanced user search story, which is very
Hmm.
interesting. They submitted a pull request. Yaro's been making some comments on that. It's great, great feedback. I believe that they are in the process of reaching their goals sooner than later. I think so.
Hmm.
That's
Excellent.
fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, but basically, what we need to move on is these things,
Event.
these yes, the event things. And I had so many stuff. I've been traveling, and Gigi's been sick, so and shitloads at work. So I've been falling behind on the index page,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I don't believe you guys have moved any further on the show page either.
No,
Mm.
unfortunately not. I'm gonna try and do some work tonight once I sort out this bit of work that just came back, and then yeah, I'll try and get something done tonight. If it's a front end thing, we can probably pair on it later if anybody will be around.
I will be on and off. I promised mother that I'm going to take care of some stuff, but it's
Okay.
getting late. So if we have, yes, we are talking. He's not hearing us. Yes, we are. Uh, oh, huh. Too bad,
Must
Yaros.
be high.
I mean, so
Hmm. That's a weird
he has no
problem.
sound. Oh, that's a weird problem.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Switch device. I forgot to misspell that. Never mind. Anyways, so yeah, and I hear that Sasha's back. Um,
Oh, is he?
yeah,
Right. Cool.
that's a good thing. We have an outstanding story, him and I. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like I haven't done much productive work in a month or something. I had such a big hopes on the Christmas period, but I just, there are stuff that, keep happening in my life, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't get around to it.
No, it's the same with me.
Mm,
You never know these things.
yeah. But shall we have a look at the pull request that Norbert and Christopher submitted? Uh, I don't know if you had a chance to look over that yet.
Um, no, I haven't. In fact, I was supposed to look at it yesterday, but slipped my mind. Yep, there it is. Right. Let me go all the way to the top because I haven't even looked at it. Oh, I think it's a work in progress pull request.
Yeah, but we
Because
can have
there
a
it
look
is.
at it together, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let
we can
me go.
start with the comments that they already made, perhaps. See if we
Yeah.
can.
Or maybe let me look at first the pivotal story and then a scratch pad. Pivotal story should be just adding search functionality. Project involved, advanced user search, project involvement, current availability status, currently logged in. Blah blah.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge here is the in my time zone
Mm-hmm.
thing, because they are calculating, uh, the time zone that you are in personally, and gives, expands your latitude and longitude somehow.
Right.
to include as many people as possible that are within your time zone. And I don't know if they have that. So so you can actually expand that even more. But I would say if they do that, that's a little bit outside the scope of this story.
Mm-hmm.
But my approach is as simple as possible with as much value as possible for the user, of course. That's the ultimate thing.
Right. The funny thing is, this is the kind of thing I want to discuss in the hopefully if we can organize that client meeting that I've been trying to plan with you and Sam. What kinds of features we really want to have at the end of it, because things like this, where was it? Currently logged in. I don't know whether or not our application should be tracking this sort of information, and also availability status. Yeah, this thing as well. I feel it is just putting too much features into our current app that we cannot maintain.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
hear you. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, this could be useful, I guess. Oh well, let me just see
I
what
mean,
there is a story in there, so I can't.
I see two main scenarios where we actually search for users,
Hmm.
and another upside for us to refactor this page. First of all, I don't want to load everything.
Right.
We just want to have the most active users or the recently logged in users to be listed on top, and these first 20, 25, 30 users should be loaded on the index page. The rest
Uh-huh.
should be searchable or load more or something, because we're hitting the database with a big query to
Right.
get that all the members. So that's one thing. But the user stories. I mean, the way we use the search functionality that is in place today is when Sam or any Scrum Master is jumping back and forward between user profiles when we do scrums, basically, right? Sam is
Right.
introducing you, so he jumps over to your profile, you do your thing, and then I come along, and then he jumps over to my profile, and instead of scrolling, he just types in my name, and I pop up, basically. And for that user story, the functionality that we have today is okay, right?
Yeah.
But the advanced user search that I initially wrote up, I think I'm the one that wrote up that story,
Hmm.
is for the I mean, I have this vision of this application being used more than just loosely. I mean, to be honest, let me put it this way. To be honest, today we're not using this application for more than just displaying information. It's a one-way communication thing,
Hmm.
basically, And I would like Website One to be more of a hub where people can meet and do stuff, basically. And then, perhaps we have a different take on that. I don't know, but
Yep.
for that, I like it to have some more features that makes it easier for people to join together, do pair programming, to gather information about what's going on in the projects, to be filled with new ideas and new inputs to actually contribute with their stuff to the project. So that's why I initiated this story, because I want, if I log into if I want to pair program today, I go online on Slack and I see
Hmm.
who's online there, and what we've taught people, what we've always talked about, just start a pair programming session, and somebody will join you, and that's fair
Uh-huh.
enough. But that's, I know by my own experience that doesn't always work.
Right.
So I would like to communicate with people in a slightly different manner. I would like to search for them, see who's involved in my project and who has been active in, for instance, Website One for the last, during the last month or 2 months or something.
Hmm.
Who's in my time zone, who is interested in certain features, because we have the skills tags, right? So I do
Right.
RSpec, I do this and that, blah, blah. And also, if we get people to at least document some of their activity,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps not actively, but by hold on a second here. Yaro says he's on another computer. He can still not hear anything. Wow.
Oh, that is strange.
We hear each other. Each other. Yeah. Yeah. Strange. Well, yeah, it's going to be true. Well, how the hell is that happening? I mean, he
I'm not
just,
sure.
you're lazy after Christmas. You just forgot to unmute yourself or put the sound on your computer. He doesn't.
Can't be if he's on another one.
Yeah, I know. Well, that would be strange if he killed the sound on both of them. Mm. But anyway, back to the subject. So I would like this application to take the direction of being the hub and
Yeah.
where people meet and not just document stuff and. So I don't know. I guess that this is a discussion that we need
Yeah.
to
This
take.
is why.
Yeah.
This is kind of why I want to push for that meeting soon, because I think we all have diverging opinions on what it should be. I personally think it's just like a marketing website for the projects and everything. The users don't take such a big role in it. Well, that's what I imagine it being before, but what you said makes sense. But then I want to know what Thomas, oh no, Thomas,
Thomas
sorry,
is me.
Sam, Sam is thinking about this. Because I know he's trying to encourage more of the EDX students to come in and work on that. So I thought it would be more, focus would be more on the projects, the kind of projects we offer to help be more of this, like, and the next, I think somebody mentioned before, the next step from a beginner and take them all the way to, advanced level.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like intermediate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
for me,
assume it could have been improved.
the way I look at it, it's all connected together. I want to
Yeah,
build
yeah,
those.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I want to sync up with everyone anyway, so that we know we're all on the same page. And I also would like to have host it as some kind of like workshop where we can discuss how we're going to achieve these goals, rather than tossing some short-term intermediate stories. And I don't quite personally, I still don't see a lot of value in the advanced user search. But the story is there, so I'm just gonna examine it as it is. But I think we should put more thought into these kind of features as they're coming in.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, from the beginning when we started this project, it originated in this pair programming schedule thing. So from the way I saw it, it was that trying to overcome the distances, the time zoning things, the experience level things, the interest, various interest things that people have, and try to get that together somehow, and so that's why I pushed for this skills tags, for instance. That's why I'm working with this different paths for Agile Venture members, so we can deliver some values for them, and that's why I kind of pushed for this for this search functionality and displaying perhaps some sort of a calendar-like thing or planning thing, But as simple as possible, basically, because I do agree with you. I think we had this discussion a few weeks ago that people do not maintain their statuses or something, So I want to aggregate as much data as possible about their involvement. That's why the GitHub commit count and also when Git commits have been made are interesting, so we can kind of keep the fresh members, the active members on top, basically,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. but another thing is that because absolutely this is a topic that we need to bring up with the broader audience.
Yeah,
We can make a case for any direction, and whoever whatever direction we take, I think it's still a great application to work on basically. So
absolutely.
yeah. But the thing is that I've been looking at Ember.js for a short while, not a long while, and I'm kind
Uh-huh.
of intrigued and fascinated by Ember, and I understand the enormous possibilities that we can achieve by having a very rich user experience.
Right.
Yeah, rendered on the front end basically, so on the client side rather than sticking with this request response structure
Oh
that
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I see lots of potential in that field since I
Mm.
work on it, professionally now.
Oh, okay.
I Yeah.
Oh,
I
great. Then I know if I
Didn't
ever
you
do
know
any
that
tutorials, I
I'm
know who to turn to. Great, great.
well, not Ember, but I work on Angular JS, which is a
Okay.
similar.
Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right.
they do the same thing.
Mm.
Ember is more Rails-like, the way it acts.
Yeah.
I
From
think you'll
what
find lots of
I don't know
similarities.
Angular, so I cannot I'm not in a position to say what's better or worse, but I
Oh
hear
no,
good
no,
things
I
about
can.
Ember. That and
Yeah, yeah.
uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but the three big frameworks that are kind of competing in this field are Angular, Ember, and React, right?
Yes, that is right.
Yeah.
Angular is what I'm working on, and I think people, my colleagues and I have started to take more interest in React. So
Okay. Okay.
that's sort of
And
where we're
and
heading.
all three of these projects are open source frameworks, like.
Yes, Angular is open source, I believe, backed by Google. React is also open source, but backed by Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, it is Facebook, what Facebook uses internally at least.
Okay. And Ember is
Ember is an open source project by
yeah.
some guy called Yehuda Katz, which
Yeah.
he does quite a lot of things.
Yeah, he used to be in Rails
Yeah,
too, I
he's
think.
part of
Yeah.
Rails and he's doing Ember, and I think he's part of another project now, Cargo, which
Oh,
is for an upcoming new language, which I'm quite interested in as well.
okay.
Yeah, so I see his name everywhere.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
my
know.
idea was, I've been listening,
Yeah, anyway.
I've been
Yeah.
reading some things about Ember and Ember integration with Rails, and one thing that we could consider in the future is to transform the Rails application that we have now to a pure API, backend application basically,
Hmm.
and then we could, just put an Ember front end app, and treat that as a separate project, basically, just to, uh, and
Absolutely.
also if we have this backend application written in Rails, potentially, if there would be some interest, and I am personally touching upon that professionally, that's to create a native iOS application or what have you. So I am fairly intrigued by this idea of having one data source, and then you can deploy different applications using the same backend basically. So that's what we do at work right now, basically. So I think it's a
Hmm.
cool thing.
Yeah, it is a good concept, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, in future apps that I try to build it that way, where
Mhm.
we have a pure API backend and things like that. But yeah, again, it's something that we need to discuss with Sam because I think one of the other reason for website once being is to act as a go-to project for lots of the new people, and having a more complex layout like that, it could be a good and bad thing because I think in the future this is going to be the kind of app that we'll see a lot more. So in that way, we're kind of future-proofing and might be training developers or upcoming developers
Mhm.
to work with this in this sort of architecture. On another hand, it could be detrimental to us if, we're taking in students from the CS 168 core, 169,
Mhm.
where they are taught to, write server-side apps that render, server
Mhm.
rendered pages. and serve them out. Um, so
Or what we could do is we could let website one live as it is, but
mhm.
keep adding the API functionality to it. Just
Oh yeah,
yeah,
slowly migrate into
yeah,
a new system.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally agree.
So we could have something to for people that are new to Rails. Sam suggested drop Rails. I remember having a talk with him in.
Ooh, what for?
Yeah,
I
well,
think.
because he was a little bit fed up with Rails for a while. I think at least that's my. He was doing a Sinatra app, and he was pushing
Uh,
for Sinatra as a framework recently, or Padrino, and
mhm,
but I think that uh, you know I've done one website in Padrino recently, and
mhm,
it's a great framework for small, very focused applications,
yep.
basically. But Rails is much better for larger applications, perhaps
Mhm,
not super large, of course, because there is the scalability thing that people keep talking
mhm,
about. But I think that the way Website One is structured, we need Rails as a framework to keep track of everything that is going on, basically. Uh, so I think we've invested a lot of time in this framework, and I would love to stick with it. Basically, uh, I wouldn't move away from it. And then this idea of having Website One as a backend application and just connected it with a Ember front end. Basically, it feels like a continuation of what we've already done, and I think it's a good thing for us. I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't scrap the things that we've designed so far,
No,
even
I
though
didn't.
there is a lot of scars
Yeah,
in that code.
yep. Again, I think it's more of where we want to go. If Sam, I don't see any problem moving away from Rails, which I think Rails is very good at what it does. It is a great prototyping framework. So it is good for when you're kicking stuff off, and then when you're sort of settling down, and we know the app is reaching maturity, moving to a different framework or something that's a bit more performant is not outlandish or anything. I think it is a good idea. But today, at this point, I wouldn't say no, or our app is not mature enough, not at that point
Mm,
where we want to start migrating frameworks yet.
mm. All
Yeah,
right.
that's my opinion. Again, it's something I'd love to discuss with Sam and the rest of the Website One team
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
can come.
But basically, what I want is also to keep it as clean as possible. So, we have everything in Rails and of course Ruby, and we had
Mm.
this discussion about CoffeeScript before.
Oh yeah.
CoffeeScript has a steeper learning curve than simple jQuery. I mean, we do use a lot of jQuery in this application, but not that much. So I think it's a good thing that we keep it. This is a project for people to come in and learn on, and
Mhm.
and I know that we've done certain things uh, with this application that are, the way I see it, over-engineered sometimes. They are more complex than they actually have to be, uh, and I really want to keep things as simple and as both easily maintainable, but also easy to read and understand for new people. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that we need to focus on, perhaps when we do, when we have our guidelines for how to code in this project,
Right.
and also when you do your pull request, perhaps if you see a tendency to perhaps overcomplicate things or over-engineer stuff, you have to say no, because we have to have in mind that new people, fresh programmers need to understand this application.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel that some people can easily become discouraged, after when they try to get to know the code base, and things
Uh-huh.
are,
Yep.
fragmented and bits and pieces are done here and there, so.
I completely agree. Um, Sometimes we over-engineer the problem and then we end up leaving half-finished solutions.
Mm.
Um, Unfortunately, something like the events.
Yeah, Yeah.
Epic, and then nobody can touch it. Nobody knows what it does, and it's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
so bad.
the event epic has been on my plate for a long time, but it's been in theory. It was, it was in the recent few weeks when we actually sat down to watch, to see, to do some stuff with it, that I kind of it struck me. Fuck, I don't even understand what these things are doing anymore.
Mhm.
So and that's not good. I mean, I remember you and I and Christopher were like scratching our heads, and Michael found code that was just dormant. It wasn't used for anything,
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Mm.
we have to try to avoid things like that. And I know that there is more code like it in the application right now.
Yes, unfortunately.
Mm, cool. Yeah, so keep it simple, basically. Yeah, um, it's a good thing, I believe.
Yep.
So, good.
Right. Which is why I am trying to, as part of my New Year's resolution, spend more time with website one and try and
Oh,
take more part in the development. Yes, I have been unfortunately not taking so much a big part in it before due to perhaps overcommitting myself to plenty of other things. So now I'm learning to say no and just okay, too much is enough.
good, good.
Yeah, I think I
Yes,
had like
it's I loved this is like music in my ears because I want to take a little step back actually from website one. Uh,
okay.
in terms of I have this idea of continuous continue to develop those ideas about uh, how people get into this community, what people can achieve and stuff like that. And
Oh yes.
one of the big things for me in the future, I discussed this with Sam, and I would like to push for it a little bit. Is that we had this AV 102 course for teaching
Uh-huh.
assistants. I would like to create 1 or 2 4-week courses with video materials and and learning materials
Hmm.
for being an open source contributor. I would like and I would like to deliver them on some sort of a platform. I know that Sam says no to edX right now, but I need to find some sort of a delivery platform for courses, and I would like to be involved in that work to actually write the materials, perhaps record some lectures in various formats, like a discussion, like you and I could hook up and discuss for 20 minutes a certain topic, and make a
Uh-huh.
recording and deliver that as a part of the course, or a more traditional lecture held by anybody of our members, etc., etc.
Hmm.
So that triggers me a little bit. I like working with education and stuff like that. So, but I can't overcommit either. So I don't want to leave the website one project at all. But I would like to rely more on your expertise and on your devotion to this project to back me up and basically do what you have been doing so far. But
A bit better.
a bit. Well, you said that. I wouldn't say better. I would say often, more often, perhaps, if possible. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Good.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm willing to take up a bit more responsibility in this project. I think that is what I will try to do more this year as I slowly deal with all the commitments I've made. Yep.
Right, right. Right. But the first step is, as you say, it's a good thing. We need
Mhm.
to have some sort of guidelines from Sam or from everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I think.
Your voice and my voice is also very heavy in this discussion because we've been around for such a long time,
Mhm.
and guys like Yaro, Pavel, and just to name a few, Michael and Marion, etc., etc. These people are very valuable sources of input. So let's try to get together as many core members as possible and
Absolutely.
and see
Which
where
is
we can
why,
happen.
yeah, which is why I want to discuss with Sam when's the best time for him,
Mm.
and then it's probably going to be on a Friday, one of the weekly meetings,
Yeah.
and then yeah, we can work from there. That should attract more developers, then we can have more opinions. Cool.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
another thing that is I think is very important is also not to forget the other side of this coin, which is the clients, the non-profits. I think we can
Mhm.
do a much better job if we were, because I do agree that this is a marketing site as well as a project,
Mhm.
coordination hub. I think
Yeah.
that we need to focus more on our nonprofit potential clients, get the nonprofits, and give them some values. Think about that. What can we do for them when they work with us?
Mhm.
Not only in terms of delivering software for them, but how can we make their life easier in the contacts with us? I know for a fact that the Ulstra people are using Google Groups to communicate with their client, which is a great thing. It's a necessity because they couldn't get together. They couldn't work. I believe, at least, they couldn't work in the traditional, weekly or bi-weekly client meeting format because there were connection issues, there were language barriers, etc., etc., etc.
Mhm.
So what they did, that they created I think it's a Google group or something like that, and they gave the client access to their Jira instance, but the client is making comments about features uh, on that Google group, I think. However, I'm getting at is that this kind of exposes a need for alternative ways to communicate with clients. And having said that, I don't say that we don't have to have client meetings, but perhaps sometimes clients want to leave feedback on certain things.
Uh-huh.
And should they be routed over to Pivotal Tracker, or could we provide that on website once somehow? This is a discussion worth having. I would like to have clients actually sign up for website one, and perhaps being given a status as a client representative, so they are a little bit distinct from other members,
Mhm.
or something like that. Again, what I'm trying to say is that these people, or this side of uh, our business, quote unquote, is very important, and I think that this application should be targeting these people, these kind of users as well. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
that makes sense.
Good. But I don't have any solutions. I'm just raising the just raising the subject. I
Fair
wouldn't go
enough.
so far as writing up user stories and stuff like that, because it's just a thought.
Yeah, another thing we can bring up, I think, in our hopefully upcoming meeting with Sam at some point, probably next week, based on his availability.
Hmm.
Yeah, again, yeah, I will be speaking with him personally tomorrow anyway.
Good, good.
Yeah.
If you manage to set something up,
Oh,
try to include
I'll
me. I'll be at my computer all day tomorrow. So
cool. I'll ping everyone on Slack,
cool.
make an announcement or
Well,
something.
he's usually around for the morning scrum, but I guess you're still asleep by
Uh, yeah. I mean,
now.
I'll be there on in Makers, so he
Oh
can't get
yes, yeah.
away.
Well, yeah. Where are you going? Why are you going over there?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, you know. My company is actually looking towards Makers as a possible recruitment point.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I and another developer are going to meet the students. The
Hmm.
later batch, I think, they have two batches. Usually one that's in the early stages and one in the later. We're gonna meet them. We're gonna coach them, I think, and then we're gonna find out how suitable they are, as developers, whether or not they're ready after that.
Cool.
Was it 12-week course? Yeah,
Mm,
it's quite
cool. Yeah,
interesting.
I've met that bunch a week ago. I was just doing again a thing on this big screen.
Right.
I just entered the Scrum unknowingly that there were a lot of people there, and all of a sudden I see myself behind Sam on a projected, big screen, and he was asking me a lot of questions, you know. So, yeah, thanks for ambushing me, you know. But then he said, "Listen, Thomas, I actually wrote that on Slack, but I wasn't following Slack because I was at work, you know. So I was just,
Yeah.
I just checked my time. Oh yeah, it's Scrum, so I just jumped in, you know. But yeah, they seem like a great bunch of people. So yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about from the developers that went up to meet them, well, the managers actually. Yeah. So, I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, Sam is head of education at Makers right now.
Yeah,
So
so that makes a difference.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but it will be like a you know, a good thing for him that you know, he became head of education, and now people come in and offer you know, if you ever make an offer to any of the students, that's you know, a sign of success for these people. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
so it's good.
absolutely. I think one of my supposed mission there is to figure out if we can find some good people,
Mhm.
and whether or not these people, this kind of curriculum will make them, a good candidate for, working at our place. That
Yeah,
sort of.
wonderful.
So,
By
yeah.
the way, guys, I
Oh
managed to
yes,
do
we
it.
hear you.
Oh, look who's back.
Four
Excellent.
computers, four computers have failed me, and finally I've remembered iPhone. iPhone, let's try that one, and it worked.
Okay, that explains the echo. Okay, cool. Welcome. How are you?
Welcome.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I finally finished all my projects. I got some free time, and I would like to, do something useful and interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the other stuff, they haven't been useful. Okay.
Well,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
uh, and so far, I'm still yet to find a job which I both enjoy and I find useful and it's interesting. So far the jobs I've had, they sort of become really boring really quickly.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, that's tough. That's always a challenge, of course.
Yeah.
But be careful what you wish for. You know, I have so much excitement at my work that I don't even notice when time flies by. You know, so I get up in the morning, go to work, and all of a sudden it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, you know,
I'd love to have that actually, because for the last project I got, I was working with this UK company which basically provides a web service into getting all kind of geospatial data. And I thought it would be really cool to learn about maps and the way they're handled and stuff. But in the end, just it went down to passing huge XML files all day long for a couple of weeks, and that wasn't fun at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, we've been talking back to this meeting, perhaps. We've been talking a little bit about the strategy, overall strategy for Website One, and our plan is on Brian's initiative, and I concur completely, is that we should set up a meeting with Sam and some, as many core members like you, self, like Pavel, Michael, Marian, and etc. You know, people that's been around for a long while, and try to decide what direction this application should evolve in, because we could potentially, I think we have slightly different takes on what we want to achieve, even though we have some strategy documents, some things that we've been saying over and over again. But I think it's time to refresh that a little bit, to make just to like plot out a new course, or perhaps decide that we should keep doing business as usual. But I think it's a good time to have a retrospective, a little bit of a retrospective, since we've been at this for a year now. It's our 1-year anniversary. For at least it was last week, I think. So I believe it could be a good thing. However, we cannot do this Friday because I don't think Sam can be here on this Friday. But Brian will meet him in person tomorrow. Are you still with us, Yaro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I see 2 Yaros now. I don't know why.
It's probably my other computers trying to refresh or
Oh,
something.
okay, okay, cool.
I've got 4 computers.
No, because when you jumped in again, I thought perhaps you missed something that I said, But okay, I got you. No, so anyway, we were hoping that we could have this week. I mean, this Friday, but I think that's a no-go. That won't fly. I think at least.
Probably not.
But we know more tomorrow after you have met with him, Brian, I guess.
Yeah. We'll find out probably next week, I guess. Some other time when he's free.
Yeah. Did I sum it up good, or did I miss something, Brian?
No, I think that's
Yeah.
good. There was lots of other talk about what other interesting things we could do with Website 1, technology-wise, based on the technology that's, grasping our attention now at work. In Thomas' case, it's Ember.js. I didn't actually contribute, but I'm more interested in React and some other things.
Yes, right. Well, that's going to be a big fight with what use, of course. Yeah, but
yeah, but that's the long eventuality. Yeah, and for some reason, Sam doesn't want Rails. Fine.
Well, again, he didn't. He asked me if I was interested in using another stack and to refactor the whole thing. But I mean, he wasn't making a case for it. He asked me what I felt, and my response is today, as it was back then, it will be in the foreseeable future that I believe that we are heavily invested in Rails right now. We are not in a position, as you pointed out, Brian, before Yaro joined us, that we are mature enough to migrate over to another framework yet or something. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done yet. And even if we choose another framework, I would like to see this as a continuity, to transform this application that we have today to a back-end application, and perhaps have Ember or React or any other framework as used to build a front-end app, and treat that as a separate, It's a little bit of a similar situation that we have with this Hangout connection application, that you speak to the app, but you do something completely different, and we could use the same database, the same models, everything. We could have an API talking to an Ember front-end application, I think. But that's in the future. But this is a discussion worth having, I believe. But yeah. But it's a long-term discussion, I think.
Personally, I think we've got yet so many things to do. On Website 1.
Yeah.
And we've already got Rails there, and Rails is good. Personally, after having tried many things and sort of keep on going back to Rails, every time I go back to Rails, I think, wow, this is so nice. This is just works out so well, and we don't have any issues like other companies or projects with scalability with Rails. We don't have that with Website 1. I see absolutely no reason in changing that at all.
I understand, and I completely agree personally. But I think that's and in any case, whatever we choose, I wouldn't either go away from Rails. Perhaps what I'm talking about is in the future, perhaps change the role of the Rails application to serve other apps, as an API, basically. That's one way to do it, because then endless possibilities are opening up with whatever new stack, new technology comes along. But also, we can make the shift to mobile easily, or more than doing, with the current structure of how we handle the views and everything, because we all know that 70% of all new internet traffic comes from mobile devices, and Website 1 is not a mobile-friendly device in any way right now. So yeah. So, but this is, again, it's a discussion. I think it's a discussion worth having in a slow pace. Nothing. I don't want to rush into anything. But it's a long-term discussion. It's nothing that will affect our to-do lists in the near future, I think.
I think the only real reason why we should consider using other frameworks is just if there are other people out there who want to get involved, but for some reason they think, okay, I don't want to get involved in Rails. If you guys had Ember, then I would jump in. I think that's the only real reason why, we should consider it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think this is another thing for Sam, what he wants to see Website 1 as. Is it a starting point for developers? Or should it just be another project there? We don't really care about what technology we use, etc.
Yeah.
Because I know he's encouraging lots of students who are learning Rails. Like that stuff with Rose and CS 169. I don't think we can move away from that stack, the Rails server-side rendered app, unless we are willing to, cut loose the ties with this particular audience.
Yeah, and we don't want that. The problem, though, this is another discussion, but the problem is that the 169 courses won't be run anymore. This is the last time this courses run.
Really?
The way they look right now, because the technology used in those courses is so
outdated.
Yes, to put it mildly.
It's outdated, is it?
Yes. So I believe that the professors have. I don't know if there's a formal decision or not, so I don't want to, make any case of that. But I believe that they recognize that there is a need to update the course materials, and that's always a costly thing. I don't know if they, are prepared to do that right now, and so. Some imply that this could be the potentially last time this course is run the way it looks like, right now. So, that means that a lot of Rails people are talking Ember right now, and it's there's a shift, and a lot of stuff is happening in the Rails community.
As with the web in general.
As in the web, yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, well, we will see how much. I mean, we have a hardcore, bunch of people that are dedicated to Rails, and we I make a living out of it, so I'm happy, but there's a need to find new sources of members for us as a community, and if we lose the 169 people, the makers are moving away from Rails.
Are they?
Well, it feels like it. He keeps talking about JavaScript a lot and some other stacks, and he's not that. He said, but again, check that with him tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll find out tomorrow.
But he said that they are not abandoning Rails, but they're kind of shifting focus a little bit, and the bulk time of the 12 weeks that the makers students spend there won't be devoted to Rails anymore, not as much as it used to, at least. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah, so let's figure out what's gonna what again, it's a discussion for Agile Ventures as a whole, but also for our project, because we serve, as you very well put it, this is a first entry project for people. When they come in, it's easier for them to start working, for a new member to start working on Website 1 than move to Osra or anything else, or local support. So that was what we talked about. And another thing, just to summarize for Yarrow, I just raised this issue that we should also focus, at least the way I see it, we should also focus on the other side of the audience that we are targeting, and that is the non-profit clients that we want to serve. What kind of values and what kind of services can we provide for them that we're not doing right now? Because Website 1 has been very focused on projects and on users, but we haven't focused on the clients, I believe. So this is also something that I think we need to have a discussion about in the future. If that makes sense,
All right. Okay. What about what has been like? What was the activity like lately in the last couple of months?
Up
slow?
up and down. Actually, well, it's slow-ish, but it's sometimes it's been a lot of. I mean, when Sasha and Rene worked, there was
Uh-huh.
a lot of stuff was done. Uh, However, we then we entered the December, and became slower and slower, and now we have these two things that I mentioned to you yesterday. The events show page and events index page. We have great wireframes from from Christopher. He's been a real good sport, doing stuff for us and also for Austria. I know his knowledge is very deep about how to build front ends actually, or good user experiences. So I'm very happy with him. So we hoped to achieve more during the Christmas break than we actually did, unfortunately, because things are happening all the time to prevent both me and Brian from sitting in front of the computer. But overall, we delivered quite a few stories, but we had some difficulties to go to reach the very end. It's like there are stuff that are done, but they are more than half done. It's like they are 90% done, but they are not. We expose some bugs sometimes, and they are just left hanging because there are nobody to get hold of these stories. So it could be better. It's not bad, but it could be much better.
Okay, so well, basically for myself, I have two lines of action. I see two lines of action for myself, and the first line of action is basically coding. So if there's any priority stuff, I can jump on that. I can do that. I can lead other people and sort of help them out, particularly if they're new to the project or to programming as a whole. And second line of action sort of is I guess that meeting with Sam, sort of understanding what do we want to do, where do we want to go, and then sort of think, are there any technical stories we should write or we should take in order to achieve that?
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, Brian, but I say that short term we need to fix those things that are outstanding, and long term we need to. I mean, we have a backlog and current log actually that needs to be fixed. We need to clear those things out of the way before we start new things, and that's a good place for us to start talking about this future strategy and future way of what do we want to achieve. It's so we can do those two things in parallel, working away on that, chopping away that backlog of ours, and perhaps bring some stuff from the icebox that are fairly neutral, doesn't take us in a new direction. But then we have an enormous icebox, backlog of things that haven't been estimated. They are not put into epics. We don't even know if we want to do them anymore. So, and that's why I think I concur with Brian that we need to have this discussion. What do we want to do here? Perhaps I'm not, perhaps we don't agree with each other, me and Brian, about what we want to do with this application, but at least we agree upon that that we need to have a discussion about this. So, in terms of day-to-day operations, feel free to grab whatever story you want to grab from, or I know that you've been already helping Christopher and Norbert out with this advanced user search, which is not a very prioritized story for us right now, but it's a good thing that they have come as long as they have, and it's let them finish that. It's a good
I think it would be a good idea to finish all those. The current log is huge. And I see a lot of people assigned to all kinds of stories, and I don't really see those people around.
Yeah.
That's. I think I want to eventually go through them and put stuff back into the icebox, things that we don't need. So some of these specs, I don't think they're gonna be finished. I haven't gotten any reply from Rose.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
know.
let me make a push with Rose before
Yeah,
we
okay.
actually kill these stories. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
But
I'll make a
you know,
comment on the pull
probably
request as well.
yeah, probably
Yes.
that's exactly what's going to happen. That we're just going to move them out.
Yeah, I think.
To be honest, guys, I would be quite happy when you sort of when you clean up the current log and the backlog, and when you reach out to those people and contact those people, if you just assign me to any of the stories you feel that they should be done, I'd be quite happy to just hack at them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alright.
Because there isn't, I don't have any preference at the moment at all. I'll just happy to jump back in and start doing something. So if
Okay.
you just assign me to a few stories, I'll be quite happy.
Well, actually, what we could assign Yarrow to is the index page of events, because we made this this wireframe, the story. I spiked something up, but it's basically just grouping the events in certain hashes, because the way that view is rendered right now is really complicated. Anyways, that story isn't really estimated in our we haven't given that story points yet. I think that we could actually vote on that today. And
Okay.
if you want, Yara, you could move on with that. Could you bring that story up on screen?
Where is that?
Just search for event index.
Well, I just wonder what is going on with my Hangout today. Okay, I can hear fine on iPhone, right? But the picture is kind of at 45 degrees angle to the right.
Oh yeah,
and sort of
yeah.
squinted inside at
I've
45
heard that
degrees.
also. I've heard that also. Let me just see here. What is that? Refactor event
No,
list.
that can't be.
No. Well, hold on a second. Let me just try to find that.
Something. Search. Nope.
Because
Nope.
I know we had a.
Nope. Nope.
There is one in the current log which is assigned to Brian, right at the
It's a
bottom.
show page.
Oh,
It's a
that's
show
a
page.
show
That's a
page,
show
right?
page. Yeah.
Yeah. I will try and do some tonight, assuming I can get this bit of work that somehow chased me home.
Okay. Okay. It's called. For some reason, that story is written up as filtered by categories on the events index page, and there's a wireframe attached to it.
Here. Yes.
Yes. But basically, if you just bring that now, too bad. Yaro, can you, if you log in on your laptop, even if you don't see stuff.
I've seen the wireframe. I've seen the wireframe last night.
All right, good. Well, basically, what we want is that a wireframe. Basically, not quite, because we will not have this attending yes no thing. On every row there is this these two buttons, whether you want to sign up for this event, and that is not covered in the story. Actually, I don't know why Christopher attached it. Actually, to be honest, but these are primarily front-end changes. We need to create. We just have to pull out the first three events that are upcoming, place them in those boxes, and the rest are supposed to be grouped by date.
Sorry.
Right?
Yep.
Does that make sense, Yaro?
Well, I can't say. The pivotal track isn't working either. I don't know what's going on. So I can't say anything. I'm sort of guessing what's going on.
Okay. Let me paste the story to this. I don't know if I can paste the story in Slack to this.
Yeah. Try that. Maybe that works.
Let's see. Here's the link.
I'm sort of inclined to reload my router, but I'm just thinking I might lose everything then. Yeah, well, Slack is working fine.
That is good.
Yeah, so you have there's a link to that wireframe.
Aha, but Pivotal doesn't work because the link is to the Pivotal, right?
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, never mind. I mean, I still remember
the front end.
I mean, I will look at it
Basically,
closely, and then if I have any questions, I'll just post the questions on Slack.
Okay.
What I need you to think about is that they are the first 3 upcoming events are placed in boxes, and the rest is in a list basically. And in this wireframe, there is this: are you attending? Yes or no. Never, don't think about that, because that's we are not going to implement that at this stage.
Okay.
So that you can forget about. But they are we are introducing a new category for events, and I think we settled on, what did we settle on, Brian? CS169 event or pair programming or something like that. Yeah, because we want to have another category apart from Scrum and pair programming. We want to have pair programming for students, and we might as well introduce another category. These are hard-coded constants, right? As a client meeting or something, because I we could have a client meeting, I think. Yeah, but anyway. So this is purely a front-end thing. There shouldn't be many changes to the code, apart from if you find any redundant code that is not used anymore, feel free to
Okay.
or something. Yeah. And I'll be happy to pair on that, because I think it's a good story. So you and I could do some pair programming session on it. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. Well, let me have a look at it. Let me more closely, and then I will get back. Maybe we can pull in Christopher to do the Oh, but he hates that, right? Okay.
What?
I was thinking, pulling Christopher to do the HTML and CSS, but then he's not really fond of it.
No.
Yeah. I think he doesn't want to work with our CSS. No. It is a very big mess. After working in the front end professionally for a while, I come back to Agile Ventures and looked at our CSS, and I just got a massive headache. Oh,
yeah, I can imagine.
Very bad. Yeah. Yes, it's one of the things I think I'll try and clean up eventually.
Yeah. Guys, mother's calling. You missed that, yeah. But I'm at my mom's place. She's post-operated. She had a hip operation recently, so I'm helping her out this week. So I need to go down and take care of her right now. But you guys go ahead if you have any more topics. But I have to drop out now. Okay.
All right.
Now,
yeah, I think me too, because this is just ridiculous. I'm looking at a 1-inch screen and can't see anything.
Fair enough.
Well, good to have you with us, Yaro, and yeah. I talk to you guys tomorrow or later tonight if you guys are sticking around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We've covered a lot already today, so quite happy with our discussion, and hopefully I'll try and organize that whole meeting. The whole Agile Ventures meeting with Sam and all the core members. So, keep your calendars free on Fridays.
All right.
All right.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
Take it easy. I'll end the broadcast.